Hi everybody, Courtney from Trekell Art Supplies here. If you're not familiar with our brand, we are a small mom and pop business ran out of Southern California. We've been in the business for 40 years and we specialize in artist brushes, artist canvases, and brush care. You're probably wondering, how is a brand that's been around for 40 years kind of new to me? I'm not familiar with them. So I wanted to give you a super quick backstory, and then I'm going to jump into the products that we offer and give you a better breakdown of each of them. This company was founded in 1984 by the original owner, Brian Trekell. When Brian started this business, he specialized in making nail brushes for acrylic nails and private labeling those. In the early 90s, he did start his brush line, his artist brush line, and didn't really take off too much because he was so focused on the acrylic nail brushes. It was a huge industry at the time, and it's what took up most of his time. So when I started here in the early 2000s, he gave me the task of trying to see what I could do with the brand. And through the power of social media and just reaching out to artists and learning more about the industry, we were able to grow Trekell into the brand that it is today. We are no longer making the acrylic nail brushes. Everything that we do is focused on artists. So when it comes to purchasing a brush, we know that it can be very overwhelming because there's so many options out there. I mean, you go down the brush aisle, they have everything. So when it comes to purchasing a brush, I want to kind of give you a little more info on each of our lines, how they're different from what else you might used in the past, and hopefully make it easier for you in the future when you do make a purchase. So when it comes to Trekell and the brushes that we offer, we only have one natural hair brush, which is our hog bristle line. We don't recommend that for acrylic painting. We know some people do like to use it. I just find that acrylic paint is super harsh on natural hair brushes. So everything I'm going to show you is synthetic and it will work with acrylic paint. So all of our brushes that are synthetic are made from a special nylon fiber. These nylon fibers have been heat treated. So what that means is after they are shaped and put into the ferrule, they are then put into an oven and baked, and that helps give the brush the shape. So the brushes are heat retentive, which means after time, after multiple uses of your brush, it wants to start to, splay out. You might get some hairs that want to go this way and that way, might just not want to come back to that point. So the cool thing about our brushes is all you need to do is get a little pot of simmering water, put the tip in there, hold it in for 7 seconds or so, take it out, and then you can retrain it and it'll bring that tip back in. So it helps maintain the life of your brushes for so long. So you might be thinking, oh, these brushes are a little bit out of my price range, but if you're going to consider the longevity of the brush, this definitely helps with that because you can reheat them a good amount of times before they're just not going to hold anymore. But that is, a given with all brushes. At some point, they're going to give up. The first brush that I want to talk to you guys about is the golden Tacklon. So this is the kind of brush that you probably see all over the place. It's got the golden hair, pretty standard. This is our most popular brush due to the fact that we offer the most shapes and sizes in it. It's the most economically priced, and it's that perfect stiffness. So this brush, our oil painters, our acrylic painters, our watercolor painters, they all usually gravitate towards this brush. If you're looking for something when you're starting out, you're just not sure where to go, I totally recommend the golden Tacklon brushes. They've laid out a very smooth stroke. They're an all-around great brush, so I highly recommend this one if you're new to the game and not sure where to start. Next up would be the crimson Tacklon. So this is basically the golden Tacklon brush, but with a little bit of a stiffer filament. So some people do find that the golden Tacklon might be a little too soft for that heavy body paint. They do like the way that it lays down a pretty smooth stroke, but they just need a little more power behind it. So that's where the crimson Tacklon brush comes in. Next up would be our spectrum brush. This is a very interesting brush. It's actually another one of our top sellers. If you were to put this brush under a microscope and look at the filament, there would be no divots in it. So most of the other brush lines have some divots in there to kind of mimic a natural hair brush. This one has none and is completely smooth. So when you go to lay down that paint mark, there's not going to be any sort of stroke in your paint. Up next is our Legion brush. It's a pretty soft brush as well. I would say it's right in between the Spectrum and the golden Tacklon. The only difference is You put this under a microscope, you're going to see a lot of divots in there. So it is going to grab the paint a little bit better and going to lay down a little bit of brush stroke in there. So when it comes to heavy body paint, this is the brush that we kind of recommend. It is the stiffest out of all of the acrylic brushes we offer. So this is our synthetic hog bristle brush. This is the Opal line. As you can see, pretty stiff. The bristles are pretty thick. So this one is going to move that paint around a lot easier than any of the other lines, and it's going to leave a lot of strokes in your paint, give it all that texture, leave a really cool effect. So up next is our Mop Brush. This is great for acrylic paint and fluid acrylic paint. Also synthetic, so you don't have to worry about any shedding. So when it comes to a heavy body or a medium body acrylic paint, this is really good for blending. So before that acrylic paint dries, you get it in there, blend two colors together. It's awesome for that. When it comes to a fluid paint, this would be great for laying down washes as well. This is another great brush for fluid acrylic, but also works great with a heavier body due to that tip that's on it. This is our Protege brush. So this brush mimics a Kolinsky sable. So it is a little bit on the softer side, but if you're looking for something for detail, some line work, just an all-around versatile brush, I recommend the Protege. It's really awesome, but also for that fluid acrylic, it's just going to work like a dream. And the last brush we had that would work basically only with fluid acrylic would be the Onyx. This is our synthetic squirrel. So this is going to be a very absorbent brush, and it will lay down fluid paint with more ease, make it easier. It's very flimsy, so you get a lot of play with it, and it'll leave very interesting marks on your canvas. So as mentioned, with all those brushes that I just showed you, they are synthetic. All the brushes that we recommend for acrylic paint would be in our synthetic lines. And as mentioned before, they have all been heat treated, so they have that heat retention memory. So remember, if they do start to splay out, just put them in some simmering water for about 7 seconds or so, pull them out, reshape them, and they should pull everything back in, and you should get a lot more uses out of that brush. So that brings me to my next couple products that we developed in-house to help lengthen the lifespan of your brush. So we have our brush restorer and our brush soap. Both of these are great for acrylic brushes. After you're done using your Trekell brush, just open this up, run it under some water, get it a little wet, get some lather in there, rinse out. And then we suggest following that up with our brush restorer. You dip it in, and it's that same starch that comes in your brush when you buy it new from the store. So you're basically just putting that back in there. Dip it in, shape it by hand, let it dry, and when you go to use it next time, you can rinse it out with water, or if you're oil painting, with a mineral spirit, and just get right back into your painting. And as I mentioned earlier in the video, we also make some panels in-house. I'm not going to show you every single line that we offer, but we do offer, our most popular would be the Baltic birch panels. So these we create on our CNC router, and they come in different shapes and sizes. We also do offer some panels that have been primed with gesso and oil ground if you're looking for something that you don't need to do any prep work on whenever you're getting ready to paint. But I don't want to overwhelm you with too much, so I just want to mostly stick to brushes and give you guys all of that information. I hope this was a useful video and you are a little more comfortable now when it comes to purchasing brushes. Always reach out to us if you have any questions, and we hope to see you soon. Thank you.